Hey, what's up, guys? Outcast Anime coming at you again. Stepping away from One Piece for right now to cover some Dragon Ball content due to a comment I got on my Dragon Ball opinion video asking about what I think the different types of Legendary Super Saiyan are and the differences in Kale's Super Saiyan versus the canon Broly. So I figured that help me make a video talking about the three different types of Super Saiyan in my opinion, and the comment on the video I'll put right here. But talking about that, we'll cover them. You have Z Broly, S Broly, or Dragon Ball Z Broly, Dragon Ball Super Broly, and Kale, Universe 6, or as some of my friends say, Universe 6 Broly. But what we're going to talk about, we'll talk about them in order from order of appearance, from Z Broly to S to Kale. So Z Broly, his difference between from the other two that have similarities are he, much like Kale, was not physically big like Super Broly was. He was physically small in his base form. Granted, he was shredded, but he was physically lean. And when he did transform into his normal Super Saiyan form, he from the way it was shown, didn't his normal Super Saiyan form or Super Saiyan A, Super Saiyan A type, did not get any bigger. His hair just spiked up, and that was that. That's all that happened. But when he went into Super Saiyan form, he bulked up massively, going from I believe he was 6 foot-ish in his base form, going to around 10 foot, massive musculature in his later Super Saiyan form. And he was completely berserked out, like with no control over his form whatsoever, just kind of going off instinct, and even killing those that he didn't mean to, like when he killed Paragus. But that was that. He didn't really do much else from that. And he kind of seemed just to get it from just rage. No real strong emotion to it. I know the whole like how it links to it, but like he seemed just came from him talking about Goku, which kind of a ass pull, but whatever. Like I was saying, so this came from that. He seemed to have gotten a lot stronger. Again, he was able to take on four Super Saiyans: Goku, Vegeta, Adult Trunks, and Kid Gohan, and Piccolo all at the same time. Pretty much casually blow up planets, but that's not the important part. He did get very much more powerful, and I do not think he would have been able to take out all five of them on his own without using Legendary Super Saiyan. That being said, there's really not much else to cover here, really. That's kind of all there is to it. He had normal Super Saiyan, he had Legendary Super Saiyan, and I'm not going to cover, I'm going to cover the movie, and that's what I'm going to cover. I'm not going to cover Bio Broly or anything like that. No, I'm not covering that really because it doesn't really matter. In the second movie, he comes back and he doesn't really get any new forms. He just kind of fights adult Gohan, and that's that. And then in the third movie, Bio Broly isn't even the original Broly, so it doesn't matter. That being said, okay. So, from what we know about him, he has his base form, which is very lean, his normal Super Saiyan form, which is not bulky up, but he has some pointed hair, and then we have the Linear Super Saiyan form where he is massively bulked up and completely berserk. So then we'll skip over to S Broly, and the difference between him are quite differing due to this. And I personally believe that S Broly and Kale are very much more similar than Z Broly and Kale are, or Z Broly and S Broly are. And we'll go into that when we're covering the differences. So with S Broly, the big key differences is this. One, he has a whole other form that no other Saiyan has, and we'll get to why I don't think Kale has it. Okay, so he has his wrathful form or a Kari form, and it is stated to be the power of a great ape in the base form. So 10 times multiplies what it seems to be. I'm not going to go over multiplies right now because we're so far into the story and we're so out of the whole thing of multipliers. I'm not really going to get into it. And if you really want to keep it if you want to talk about that, in my opinion, the basic thing is that Z Broly's Super Saiyan form was like 100 times just flat. In my opinion, it was even. It wasn't anything stronger or anything like that. In my opinion, I'll cover more what I might think the multipliers are in a minute. But so the Wrathful form seems to kind of be more of like a berserker state, but it can be stacked on with other forms, what it seems to be looking like. And so he gets it pretty quickly from just getting enraged, and no moon is needed, no tail is needed or anything. He can just go into it. And it kind of seems like from the movie that is Broly's kind of innate transformation. I meant to put innate here in transformation after, because it seems like whenever he gets mad, as we saw when the guy was hitting on Chile, he kind of seemed to get the yellow pupils for a second. So it kind of seems like whenever he gets mad, he kind of goes into it on his own, not really thinking about it. You know, when he gets really mad when someone he wants to protect is going into that kind of, so he'll go into it. But we've seen that it's powerful, not that powerful, only about 10 times. And what I'm going to review there is because it is stated to beat the power of a grade 8, which is a 10 times in his base form. With the yellow pupils, the hair spikes up, but it's still black, but it's not colored or anything, and he has the yellow pupils. Moving on next to his Super Saiyan form. He doesn't look much different. He has the golden hair and he has the white eyes. His eyes are completely whited out, much like how Goku was when he was Berserker at first in some of the translations. Let me go 1 second. There we go. So yeah, he kind of gets Berserker Super Saiyan style, but doesn't get much. He doesn't get a lot stronger. And I'm is referred to as Super Saiyan B type for him. Is what it's referred to. I believe Super Saiyan C type is the normal. I could be having those mixed up though. I could get them mixed up between the different ones because it's kind of hard to think about what they are. But know that the legendary Super Saiyan across all the boards, their Super Saiyan form is not the exact same as normal Super Saiyan forms. It's referred to by a different name. I believe it is Super Saiyan A type, I believe, but I could be wrong. I think C type is the normal for normal ones. I'm not sure. But this Super Saiyan form that he goes into in the movie S Broly is not called Legendary Super Saiyan. It is called Super Saiyan Full Power or True Super Saiyan is what it can be called. But to me, it's Legendary Super Saiyan. It has green hair. He's a bulked up motherfucker. He's bulky. It's implied that he gets even bulkier when he goes into like Legendary Super Saiyan. He gets even bigger than Broly gets. And Broly was already a big Saiyan. He was already huge. Like I think he was bigger than Nappa, and Nappa was massive. Like Nappa was like 8 feet tall or something. I mean, and he was already bigger than Nappa normally, and he bulks up even further from that. So that being said, but this Legendary form comes out from sorrow when he sees his father died, and he believes to be his fault. Oh. He believes it to be his or Gogeta's fault, not Gogeta at the time, Goku and Vegeta's fault. So he got some sorrow, and that's how he gets it, and he gets even more powerful. And if we're talking about multiplier there, I personally think his multiplier for his form, his legendary form, is a lot higher than Z Broly's, mainly due to his what I call the active Zenkai boost. The fact that he just constantly gets stronger and more experienced as he fights over the normal Zenkai boost of normal Saiyans. That's another thing he has that what seems like Kale doesn't have. Kale doesn't seem to have the active Zenkai boost. Honestly, it kind of seems like none of the Universe 6 Saiyans have Zenkai boost, really, which I will cover in that when we get there. Speaking of which, not much else to talk about him. We've covered his wrathful form, his normal Super Saiyan form, which I believe which I personally believe is the multiplier for normal Super Saiyan, if not a little bit stronger. That's pretty much it. And then the Legendary Super Saiyan form is impressive, but again, not this giant amount. And again, I'm talking about the forms here. When it comes to characters, that's a whole other video, a whole other thing. And if you are wondering what my ranking for them are, it goes S Broly, Kale, Z Broly, in my personal rankings. Sorry, I thought someone was hitting my window. Sorry about that. Now on to Kale, and Kale is a different case. She's very special when it comes to the other two, due to her being a Saiyan for a different universe. And this is where it goes. I do personally believe that S Broly and Kale's Super Saiyan forms are like they're legendary Super Saiyan status is pretty much the same in a way. The difference is the Akari form and the active Zenkai boosts. And also the Legendary Super Saiyan, like the transformation, but we'll go into that in a second. So starting off with the first two, the interesting ones. The reason why Kale does not have the Akari form is because, simply put, she doesn't have a tail. None of the Universe 6 Saiyans do. And it wasn't because it was cut off, it's because they never evolved the tails at all. So therefore, the normal Saiyans of that universe would not have Great Ape, and therefore would not have the Akari form. She never got it because she never evolved it genetically. And same with the active Zenkai boost. We've seen that from what I've seen in the anime and in the manga, the Universe 6 Saiyans do not seem to have a Zenkai boost. They don't really seem to have it. Now, that could also be implied. They do have it, but we just never ever see it. Because, granted, that being said, the fights we see, we see Vegeta versus Kappa. Then they have a big old 2-month thing, so we don't ever see Kappa. So it could be that he was training, or it could be that it wasn't because he had the Zenkai boost because he got the crap kicked out of him. Same with Kale and Khalifa. We never really see them using the Zenkai boost because we just never see them right after they get the crap kicked out of them. Now, with those two things said and talked about, and the Akari thing, in my opinion, that's pretty much fact because it is stated that Universe don't have tails, and the Great Ape form wouldn't exist for them. So therefore, the Akari form wouldn't exist for Kale because she doesn't have access to the Great Ape power in her. But that being said, moving on to her Legendary Super Saiyan form, or as it's Ultra Super Saiyan or something, Berserker Saiyan, Demonic Saiyan, something that it's called for them, her Legendary Super Saiyan form. The difference, and this is where the Z Broly and Kale kind of connect a little bit here. First thing, they are both very slim characters. Now, I don't think that's linked together because Z Broly was shredded. That's why I brought it up earlier, that he was ripped and shredded out. And Kale isn't. Kale is not incredibly muscular. Really, none of the Universe 6 Saiyans are really, really muscular or incredibly physically looking powerful. But when she transforms, she definitely bulks up. Her hair spikes up and the yelling, and she does. That's another difference between the other two and her. Not Khalifa, Kale. I'm still know why I said Khalifa. Kale does not seem to have a normal Super Saiyan form. As we saw that when they were trained to try to unlock it, Khalifa got it and Kappa got it, 2 different means, but Kale never got it. And it was said that she just couldn't do it. She just for some reason was unable to do it. So yeah, that's a big difference right there. Kale doesn't have the yellow-haired Super Saiyan form. She goes from base to legendary immediately, unlike Z and Super who would go base Super Saiyan, legendary Super Saiyan, or base Ikari, legendary Super Saiyan. Oh, I forgot to bring that up. The important thing to bring up is that the Ikari form can be stacked onto the legendary Super Saiyan form. It is said that it could be stacked onto it if Broly trained hard enough. Back away from that, from S Broly back to Kale. With Kale, she does have something else going on that the other two have yet to show. Kale seems that when she transforms into it a few times, she begins to get control over herself. She begins to be able to calm down and control herself, is what it seems. And that's good. It says, now I'm quoting the Dragon Ball Wiki here. I'm quoting here because I don't actually own any of the manga or anything like that. I watch the anime, and I'm not much of a manga reader. I do want to read the manga, and I'm trying to read the manga, but I don't really have access to a website that I can read the manga reliably. And also, surprise, surprise, I don't know Japanese, so I can't read them when they come out in Japanese. I don't know. I would have to read them when they come out in English. Now, that's something that I just can't do at the moment. I don't have the time, nor, in my personal opinion, the skill to learn Japanese. But I will definitely keep up to it when I can, and I will catch up as much as I can, and I will update these videos when more stuff comes out about them. But back to what I was saying, Kale seems to get control over her forms the more she transforms into it. I believe in the wiki it needs to be 3 times, she transforms 3 times, and then she has full control over her form. No real training needed. She gets control of it, and that's good. But it also says that when she gets control of it, she immediately transforms into what is considered to be Ultra Super Saiyan 2. Yes, Kale has a legendary Super Saiyan 2 form. The only one to have a canon legendary Super Saiyan 2 form. Now, yes, I know Z only has access to legendary Super Saiyan 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, 4, Great Ape, all that stuff. I know he has access to that in Heroes and other games. I'm not talking about that. I'm not considering that as a thing. I'm looking at the one movie he was in for that. And Kale is shown to have a canon Super Saiyan 2 form where she slims down quite a bit, isn't as bulked up as she was. She's completely in control, and she seems to be a lot stronger. Now, with Kale's form, I personally believe, if we're talking about multipliers here, I'm not quite sure what the multiplier would be, but I definitely believe Kale, as shown in the thing, Kale and Khalifa seem to be around the same level of power. Okay, generally. Whether you want to say in base, Kale is stronger or Khalifa stronger, doesn't really matter. They're in the same ballpark. And it was shown that when Kappa trained Khalifa to learn how to go Super Saiyan, and Kale thought they were flirting with each other, she transformed into Legendary Super Saiyan, attacks Kappa while he's in Super Saiyan, nearly kills him, and Khalifa has to go Super Saiyan 2 to deflect her blast. It does not say that Khalifa is stronger than Kale is in Super Saiyan 2, but if they're around the same level of power, and it takes her to even be on the same level as Kale for her to be in Super Saiyan 2, Khalifa is what I'm talking about. I know I'm being confusing and harder to understand. For better explanation, Khalifa has to go Super Saiyan 2 to rival a legendary Super Saiyan 1 Kale. So, and we know that the multiplier for Super Saiyan 2 is 100 times, 2 times stronger than Super Saiyan 1, and Super Saiyan 1 is 50 times. We know that. I'm going off what I know about the data books and everything else. I know there's a bunch of videos out there that talk about Super Saiyan is stronger than what it actually says it is, and that's up to your opinion. In my opinion, I think Super Saiyan is still the 50 times multiplier, and that's that. And so therefore, we know that Super Saiyan 2 is 2 times stronger than Super Saiyan 1, and she transforms into Super Saiyan 2 just to deflect Kale's blast. So in my opinion, if I had to give Legendary Super Saiyan a definitive multiplier in my mind, I would say that Legendary Super Saiyan for Kale is about times 125, in my opinion, times base form. Because I believe Kale is still a good deal stronger than Khalifa is in that form. But it's just that Khalifa calms her down and she relaxes. Also shown that when Kale is able, Super Saiyan 2 Khalifa has to box with Goku in the Tournament of Power, and Kale is able to pretty much manhandle Goku. Now I'm not saying fully powered blue Goku. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in the fight that we saw in the anime, at least, that Kale was able to go toe to toe with a semi-exhausted Goku pretty casually. So I'd put her up there with that. I would say she's even 100 times 25 stronger than her base form is. And yes, by the way, in my personal opinion, the Universe 6 Saiyans do have a higher base form power than the Universe 7 Saiyans. That's what I think, and that's, if you're free to believe otherwise, if you want to, comment down below if you want to say what it is. But in my opinion, yes, Kaba, Kale, Khalifa, and all the other Universe 6 Saiyans do have a higher base power than Goku and Vegeta, in my opinion. Now, their forms are way different. I still believe Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan, to some extent, are indeed stronger than the 3 Universe 6 Saiyans. I'll leave it off with that. I'll say there. So, yeah, and I do personally believe that, in this off quickly, in this, I believe that DBS Broly can get access to Super Saiyan, Legendary Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 2. I think Boy can get all the forms the other Saiyans can get as long as he trains hard enough and works hard enough, in my opinion. That's just me. And if you think otherwise, you're free to comment down below and tell me what you guys think. I would love to hear it. And I will reply to your comments as much as I can. I'm pretty small, so I can almost guarantee that I'll always reply to your comments. And that being said, guys, I'm Outcast Anime. Please, please, please make sure you like, subscribe, and send my video to your friends if you think I'm a good YouTuber, you think I'm a good person to spread stuff out. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and have a nice day, my fellow outcasts.